beautiful reflection. You are over here with Terethia, and we are back to wrap up divination. With that being said, reflection, after this section, we are actually going to go into the different elements and which particular elements to use for different situations, different rituals, and different spells. Okay, so with that being said, let's wrap up class 107. Okay, so the one we're going to be talking about first is astrogalomancy. Okay, astrogalomancy uses a special dice with this particular divination system. Okay, they actually use the dice and they use the letters on the dice reflection to predict a particular outcome in the future. Kind of like these dice right here, but it's not these particular dice right here, reflection. You know, with these dice right here, they actually have different sides. They actually have different numbers and different zodiac signs on there. But these particular dice right here, you can get them in different sides, and you would use the different sides for what type of question you're trying to ask, reflection. Okay, so that involves astrogalomancy. On the list is allomancy or allomancy. Okay, allomancy actually deals with salt, reflection. This actually deals with the form of table salt. Now, reflection, remember, when you are doing different rituals and different spells, sometimes the things that you need are literally right in your kitchen or right in your backyard. Okay, we are using earth, we are using air, we're using fire, we're using water, and we're using spirit, okay, or ether. Those are the 5 elements that you always have to use when you are doing a ritual, when you are doing your do you believe in magic, when you are doing spells and different potions and things like that. So with that being said, reflection, allomancy actually deals with the divination. The practitioner will actually take the table salt and pour it from their hand. The practitioner will take the table salt and pour it from their hand onto a area, usually a sacred area. It wouldn't just be any area. Remember, when you are doing your magic, you always want to work in a sacred area. So make sure you get you a sacred area for your divination work. Okay, usually that's not accessible, or if it is accessible out in the open, it's literally in plain sight where no one will even know it if they walk past it. Okay, reflection, we are talking about do you believe in magic? It's not magic if you cannot hide it in plain sight. Okay, so that is allomancy. Aromancy actually deals with the forms and the shapes of the clouds, reflection. This particular diviner actually studies the clouds and study different forms and different shapes of the clouds. If you are a person that likes looking at clouds, you will notice that you can notice a lot of different shapes, a lot of different figures, kind of like if you're doing tarot cards and you just have different shapes and different figures that you want to interpret different things from, reflection. So with that being said, this is aromancy. This particular diviner actually used the clouds to get outcomes for the future. Speaking of aromancy, reflection, I actually want to show you this video that I actually took myself, and I want you to look at this video and look at the cloud formations. If you look closely, it almost looked like another world back there in the clouds. So normally aromancy would take this as if the future or something is going to be a new chapter, something is coming in, a new order, a new world. Okay, it could also mean that it's going to be a big transition in one's life. It's going to be a big transition in a particular situation, but not something small. It would be on a mass level. Okay, but remember, different diviners have different interpretations, but the outcome will always be the same, reflection. So take a look at this video and tell me, what do you think about the clouds and the formations in the background? Graphology. Well, this is another form of divination. Whether you know it or not, reflection, a lot of diviners are actually in places that you visit often. Have you ever heard of diviners on a job? Yeah, reflection. They even have diviners on a job. Some diviners would even study the way a person writes to determine different outcomes about that person, determine different, not outcomes, but different traits about that person. Reflection, if you'll look to the side, you can actually see the different forms of handwriting, and you can actually see each form of handwriting has a different outcome. Reflection. So some job, certain people, when you go to certain jobs before, it was all electronic, and you have to even think, when you do a job electronic, it asks for your signature. Sometimes you actually have to do your own signature. They actually will judge their reflection off they will actually judge your writing off your characteristics. So they will look at your writing and notice, okay, this is this person's characteristic, this is this person's characteristic. So did you ever hear about graphology? If not, reflection, it'll definitely be something great to research. Next on the list is chiromancy. Now, chiromancy is kind of like palmistry, but with palmistry, they actually deal with everything concerning the hand, all of the different features concerning your hand, reflection, where chiromancy actually deals with the lines itself on the hand, reflection. So this particular diviner actually used certain lines on one's hand, and they can predict the future dealing with the lines on your hand, reflection. Remember, no fingerprint is the same. So with that being said, you're over here at the Night School with Terethia. Make sure you join us for our last class, class 108. With that being said, Ashe.